Hey everybody, this is my morning commute to work. This is, I think, going to be my first video log for 2015. One of my New Year's resolution is that I was going to start video blogging more, just to make things a little interesting. This morning I'm going to be taking the tiny little Grom. Hope you guys can see it. So it's, believe it or not, we're in Los Angeles right now, just in Hollywood Hills. We're riding down this one street here, and it had just rained yesterday. It's a little, this is unusually foggy for Los Angeles because usually it's very, very clear. The roads are a little, there's some wet spots over here, so I'm going to try to take it a little easy right now. Since I'm riding the Grom, this bike is really super light. It's only 125 cc's. It's a tiny little bike, but I love it for getting around town. But being for such a small bike, supposedly, you know, the white papers say it maxes out about 65 miles an hour, maybe 60 if you're lucky. To be honest with you, I've only gotten 55 out of this thing on normal ground. Maybe if I'm going downhill I can get a little faster, but then again, I'm also still breaking this thing in. I haven't taken this thing all the way to the rev limiter, and I have about, wow, that guy totally ignored the stop sign right there. Douchebag. The braking period, they say, a lot of mechanics say, just, you know, at 600 miles, take out the brake-in oil. I'm at 411, so I still have to about 80 miles to go. Sorry, roughly 180, 190 miles to go. So this is why I love the Grom. It's super tiny. Really good for lane splitting. Perfect for lane splitting, actually. Alright, so since I'm riding this thing right now, I'm going to talk about some of the mods I've done to this Grom. But basically, I added a Bazzaz Fuel Tuner because I added a Yoshimura exhaust, aftermarket exhaust. I didn't go as hard as getting the race exhaust. I just got the RS-9, which is actually very street legal. It's still not too loud. It won't annoy the crap out of my neighbors. And it does, surprisingly, you know, for a bike that has such little horsepower, that little extra horsepower is very helpful. You do notice a very slight performance increase. The bike is a little bit more responsive. With the Bazzaz Fuel Mapper, it's cool. I have a switch. I can switch between two different fuel mapping modes. You can see this little switch right here. It's I could, you know, it's basically if you're going into sort of a higher altitude place, you might want to change out to different fuel mapping so the bike performs a little bit better. But in general, I'm very happy with the tiny little bits of performance gains I've been getting out of the mapping. Maybe if I actually raced, I don't race. Maybe if I actually race, I would put more aggressive mapping. But for now, this is pretty fantastic. I also put in a lighter battery by Shorai. It's a lithium battery. I believe it's lithium ion battery, and that thing is fantastic. You know, like I said, the Grom, anything you can take off in terms of weight will make it run so much better. Is this guy gonna let me pass? Here we go. Yeah, like the stock battery weighs about, say, 5 pounds, I think, or maybe 6, and the Shorai weighs 2. So the extra 4 pounds, believe it or not, even though I know it's 4 packages of roast beef or whatever, it's funny, even though I'm saying roast beef because I actually don't really eat meat anymore. You know, the extra weight savings is huge. And even taking off the stock exhaust, you know, replacing with the aftermarket exhaust like Yoshimura is significant. I mean, the stock exhaust is like really freaking heavy, and that alone you'll notice performance gains. Of course, like I said, you know, generally the bikes run pretty lean. So, and when you put on a stock exhaust or put on an aftermarket exhaust, it's only going to run leaner. So that's why, that was really the reason why I put on the fuel mapper, because I was concerned about the engine running lean. Another thing I love about this Grom is that you can really push this thing around. It's also hilarious too, because when people see you, I'm basically kind of a big guy on a tiny bike, and I mean, you just look like you're up to no good when you're riding in the streets with this thing. You know, the funniest thing is I've gotten way more attention on this Honda Grom than I have on any of my other bikes. You know, I had a 1970 CB350 and 1974 CB550, you know, old bikes, and in LA, you know, quote-unquote vintage bikes, even though a lot of people will argue the Honda bikes aren't that great, they catch a lot of attention here in Los Angeles, or in our case right now, Burbank. And you know, I haven't gotten that much attention until I got the Grom. It's always really funny parking this thing next to all these other bigger bikes. And here it is, everybody. This is the Grom.